And we continue with the 20th Mishnah of this fourth Perek. Elisha ben Avuya Omer. Says Elisha ben Avuya, Haloimid Torah liyelid. You teach Torah to a child, to what do you compare it to? L'diyoy ksuva al niyar chadash. Ink written on a fresh piece of paper. What does that mean? Says Rabbi Yoina. When you write on a fresh piece of parchment, it's difficult to erase. Kach Torah, so too is the Torah shabi al dusai that you learn when you're young. Loi tishkach meliboy, it doesn't leave your heart. But on the flip side, someone who teaches Torah to an older person, to what is he compared to? To writing on erased paper. What does that mean? Says Rabbi Yoina, the letters disappear because the paper is already erased from. So too Torah when we're older is forgotten. There's a mashal that's brought in Mivchar Penimim. Halimud bein aros. Someone that learns something when he's young, kipatuach alevin is like engraved on a stone. Halimud me as a kenab. When you learn when you're older, kikoisiv alachol, it's like writing in sand. It just dries up, just blows away. But the elder person should not say, "Heinani eitz yavesh." I'm a dried up wood. So based on this Mishnah, you know what happens when people hear this? They hit a certain age, they say, that's it. All is lost. There's nothing I could do. Why should I even try to learn, an elder person says? He says, of course you still should. Because you still get schar. Why? You tried. What's it up to us? These words are empowering words. What's it up to us if we remember our learning? Listen to this mashal. We have a mashal of a worker, employer, two workers. He gives them a bucket to draw water with. But you know what happened? The bucket had a hole in the bottom of it. And he gave them, he says, guys, I'll give you $100 an hour. What do you have to do? Take this bucket and utilize this bucket, fill up the water and pour it over there. So what happens? But the bucket has a hole in it. So Tipesh Shaimer, what does the idiot say? What am I doing? It's a waste of my time. I pick up the water, it falls right out. But what does the Pikeach Shaimer, the smart one, says? Who cares? Why does it make a difference to me? I'm being paid per hour. Omali, hasachar yitenli. I just have to do my own, which is pick up the water and try, and I'll get the reward. He never said I have to fill up a bucket. He said I just have to work. Kachazaki, and so too when we're older. What do you care if you forgot? Schar noistin lo, you get a schar. And all of us, even though we're not old, sometimes I think we have a similar feeling. Sometimes we learn Gemara, we learn whatever we learn, and sometimes we just forget it so easily. Maybe it's because our minds are unfortunately sullied with certain things. Maybe it's because we're just too tired. Maybe it's because we don't work hard enough, and often we'll despair, and we'll say, what's the point? Is there really a point? I'm just wasting my time. So for an elderly person, Rabbi Yoina teaches us, no. Even though you're going to forget, you still get schar. But for a young person, what's the answer? Number one, you still get schar. And the incredible schar to push, even when it's very difficult. But number two, and I think many of us probably have seen this throughout our lives in maybe a very small form, Lamaisa, practically at the end of the day, we do actually remember certain things. Practically at the end of the day, there are certain details that do seep in. And therefore, if we keep on pushing and we keep on trying, more and more will indeed seep in. And we conclude the Mishnah, Rabbi Yossi ben Yehuda, Ish kafar abavli oimer, ha loy min minazeh kinu l'ma'u doimer, if you learn from an elder, you're like, lo yichla novim b'shulais, you're eating ripe grapes, v'shaisa yayin yashin, you're drinking old wine. Ki b'hit yashein ala chachma, because when you get elderly on the chachma, you get more and more chachma. It's easy to understand. You learn from an elder Rebbe, he knows how to teach you. But what if you learn from someone that's young? Is like you're eating unripe grapes, and you're drinking new wine. They don't know how to teach yet, and therefore you're not going to learn properly. We conclude the Mishnah with the words of Rabbi Omer, a famous line: Al tiskalkel bekankan. Do not look at the jug, the container, but rather what's inside of it. Kankan chadash, malay yashan. Their new containers full of old wine. The yashan in old containers, afilu chadash ein with no wine at all. Ki chashivas hayayin hayashan. We all know when it comes to wine, what makes wine a chash of a wine, an old wine. Leipasid bekli chodesh. Kach does not get ruined in a new keli. Kach ma'ketanim nechlik as a kenim. If a young person, a new person, gets wise from an elder, yelami koladim and aketanim techila. Zamashish boin divri Rav Yisrael Yehuda divri Rabbeinu Hakadosh. Ki Rav Yossi Omer ki emaz kenim aketanim kulam chachamim emaz kenim yilmad. Rav Yossi said, who do you learn from? You should always learn from the Zakenim. Why? But Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Rebbe is adding on something else. We don't go by majority. Let's say there's a young Rebbe that actually knows what he's talking about. Says Rabbeinu HaKadosh, says Rebbe, Yelambe lifneihem, Shnei dvarim ha'ilu, Elihu Omer Isam Shenemar Amarti Yom Daberu Rav Shanim Yodiu Chachma Achin Ruachim Benosh Nisachshat Kai Tvinim Kimet Chila Yomer. Beginning he would say in Yov if there is any Yehuda Ki Rav Shanim Yodiu Chachma, that the elder person is, the more he's able to teach Torah. Achsharab, when he saw Kua Yelin Mechaviru as a Kenim, he's younger. Amar Ki Ruachi Benosh Lapam Ki Yelin Chakim and as a Kenim. Sometimes the younger one gets wise. Tiach Chachmasim Uvishals Bimenu. And these last words of Rabbeinu HaKadosh really talk to each and every one of us, because sometimes we feel, how could I learn from such an elderly person? So says Rabbeinu HaKadosh, you could learn from someone younger, but make sure the person you're learning from originally learned it from someone else. A line that we've repeated so many times, the critical importance of a Rebbe, of even a Rebbe having a Rebbe. So the Rebbe, the Rav, the Shiva can be young, as long as he has someone else that he is learning from. Because then you're part of that Messiah, then you're gleaning that wisdom from the elder, from the Chacham. But if it's the younger person, could make it more palatable, make it more understandable, then, says Rabbeinu HaKadosh, that is perfectly fine.